Hi all my GLP-1 friends, how are you today? Today we're going to talk about the basics of GLP-1. What is GLP-1? What does it even stand for? It's a glucagon-like peptide. I'm going to get into a little bit of science, but very little and very easy because nobody likes science, including me. So it's a hormone and it's produced in your small bowel, and it regulates blood sugar spikes along with appetite suppression, and it controls your digestive system. What it does is it slows down the digestive system so that your stomach empties a little bit slower and you think you're fuller faster and for a longer period of time. And it also causes your pancreas to create some insulin, therefore lowering the blood sugar spikes. It also transmits to the brain, so your brain goes, I'm not as hungry anymore. I'm full. I don't need to eat anymore. And that's basically the science of it. Phew, science over. Now we could go on. So let's start off with who should not take this medication. I'm not a healthcare provider. I don't pretend to be. I will always punch you back to your healthcare provider. But if you're allergic to this medication, I don't think it's a really good idea to take it. If you have a lot of bowel problems, this might not be the medication for you. And if you're going to take it, at least keep your healthcare provider informed in case you need some help. Now, if you have certain types of thyroid cancer, this is not the medication for you. So, if all those boxes are checked and you're going to take it, first I recommend measuring yourself, because sometimes you will not lose pounds, but you'll lose inches. We don't want to get discouraged, and this will help. As to where to do your injection, well, they recommend somewhere around your belly button and your thigh and your upper arm. I like to use the one by my belly button, and that's because I've tried my thigh. I don't have a lot of fat in my thigh, so it kind of hurt. I recommend pinching, so it goes into the fat, because you don't want to go into muscle because it may not be as effective. Also, you don't want to just barely stick the needle in, because if it doesn't go in deep enough, it may not be as effective. So I've also tried the back of my arm, but I needed help, and I don't really like to be dependent on somebody to help me with it, especially since I take it usually early in the morning. Now, it's recommended that you take it once a week, and I also recommend somewhere around the same time, but there's some give and take on that. I like to chart all this because some of our memories aren't so good. Now, when I use it by my belly button, I kind of use it like a clock. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then I'll go in between. And again, I chart it so that I don't have to memorize it, because you don't want to do the same spot too often, because it'll scar and it'll be a little bit harder, and it just won't be as effective, and it might hurt a little more, and we don't want it to hurt. So that's what I do, and that's what I would recommend. Now, as far as when you should start it, well, if you have a wedding or a big party the next day, I'd probably wait till after. It could take 24 hours for you to have side effects. It could be sooner, but that's usually what they say, 24 hours, and they could last a bit. Most common one is nausea. 50% of people. I never really had a problem, and if I do, I drink Element. It's LMNT, which is a salt-based electrolytes. That's what I prefer. You can use your own electrolytes. I like the salt because it also contains magnesium. 60% of people have a magnesium deficiency, so all in all it helps, and that's what I do for my nausea. Now, there's also medications you could take as far as vomiting. Check with your healthcare provider if it doesn't go away, but like I said, I just suck on my electrolytes and that seems to help me. Now, as far as the rest of it, which is diarrhea and constipation. Diarrhea, either let it take its course, or there's medication you could take over the counter. Pepto-Bismol. Sometimes your nausea and stuff like that is from acid reflux, and this could help. That's what I take, and it also helps with some diarrhea. Now, constipation, I like magnesium. I use Bio-Optimizers because it's 7 different kinds of magnesium. Like I said, so many people have a magnesium deficiency. You could also take a stool softener that helps. If you really need to take, you could take dieter's tea, or you can take a laxative. There's plenty of home remedies for that. Contact your healthcare provider. Water, water, water. Hydration also helps with all of it, along with weight loss. It also helps fool your stomach into thinking that you're even more full faster. So that's it for that topic. Here we are talking about poop on the internet. Who would have thought that? Next, we have plateaus. Plateaus are a natural part of weight loss. They happen to everybody. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It means you've been losing weight and now your body's kind of getting used to it. So what I recommend is reevaluating things. Reevaluating how much you're eating, your portion size, your calories. Because you could be eating a lot more than you think. You know, it may mean tracking, that dreaded tracking word, and measuring. But if you think you're eating 1,800 calories and you're really eating 2,800, poof, that might be the problem. Also, exercise. If you think you're burning 200-300 calories on your exercise routine and you're not, well, you know, that could be it too. I track mine on my Oura Ring. There's Fitbits. There's plenty of charts on the internet that you could calculate your calories in, calories out. I know we hate to use that term, but basically that's it. You also have to change things up a little bit. If you eat the same thing every day and do the same exercise routines every day, your body gets used to it. So change things up a little bit. Add a little bit of good fat or something. You know, make a little bit of a change. Don't go too crazy, because remember, this is a lifestyle change and you need to be able to keep on this pretty much forever. So, you know, don't go too crazy, but, you know, don't deprive yourself. Also, if you've been bad that day, don't try to starve yourself the next day. That is a sign of bad eating habits, and we want to get away from that. We don't want any eating disorders. So check your intake, check your outtake. I hate to word it that way, but basically that's it. Now, as far as the exercise and burning calories, you can see construction workers. There's some overweight construction workers. You know, they're busting their butts, burning calories, working hard. You know, they're probably eating to compensate for that, but their body is used to that, so they stay overweight, and that's pretty much the take of that. Now, we've talked about that, we've talked about anti-inflammatory. Rest is recovery. Sleep, very important, because we're putting our bodies through a big process. We need the recovery time, and sleep is the best way to recover. So make sure you get enough rest and recover. Those are the basics of GLP-1. I hope we all learned something from this. I have, and have a good day.